Indeed, and here we go. Game number one in our second set of the day. We're here on Rocky River. We're seeing VortiX playing in the color blue as the English. On the opposite side, we got DeMu in the color red playing as the Japanese. And looks like I'm wrong when it comes to the fast fuel age coming out from VortiX here, as both players are moving out onto the map trying to get those docks down. Makes sense because the Japanese, even when they go for economy on water, because their fishing ships cost so much less wood, they will still have a very, very solid fuel age timing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one where you talked about maybe he doesn't go into the Shinobi play, which I still feel like with these players, they love the Shinobi. It's almost like saying like, oh, because someone has strong spears, you're not going to go into your knights. It's like, yeah, you're going to use the mobility. You're going to use that blink ability. I just feel like if water weren't in play, I'd 100% agree and say the storehouse is in. But with docks, I just feel like the Shinobi still might have a positioning in this match.
I think long term, the storehouse just provides you with a lot overall. Like even if you lose water, you'll still have all the additional farms coming in from the storehouse. But we'll have to see how these players exactly decide to play this one. I'm still a storehouse defender all the way. Maybe it's just me not being able to really get that much out of the Shinobi. But I think in this matchup, it could still be the storehouse, and it wouldn't be too punishing forfeiting those Shinobi early on. But yeah, I mean, it's a little bit interesting when you look at the water economy bonuses for these two civilizations. So English, their fishing ships, they got a discount. Japanese, their fishing ships, they get a discount. It's just that the discount from the Japanese is a little bit better here.
Just not even just a little. It's a lot of bit better. So that feudal age should be seconds ahead for the Japanese of DeMu. You can see the fishing boats, a little bit less villagers onto the wood from DeMu, and he actually pulls off of the wood line. As it looks like he's going for an earlier feudal age, just a few fishing boats, and he says that is enough. Now it's time.
I'm not sure if he's managed to scout out yet that VortiX also went onto the water. Yeah, as you said, he pulls off completely, but it looks like he's only just now finding out that VortiX also went onto the water here. As the scout now gets close to that pond, and yeah, now he knows. Now he knows that VortiX is also on water. Question's gonna be, is he gonna resend villagers over to wood, try and get more fishing ships out now?
I don't know. I feel like now you've already wasted that walking time. You've already made that play. If anything, maybe just kind of send some new ones out and still get this faster feudal age and continue to try to pump fishing boats at a little bit of a delay here.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like that's going to be the plan from him. New villagers going out to wood. He needs it as well for another house, so definitely has to get some wood in soon. But H-Up's going to be coming in fairly quickly here for DeMu. Pretty much already has the gold that he needs, and food is also not too far off for him. VortiX going to be a little bit further behind here when it comes to the age-up, but overall, it's going to be a pretty fast age-up considering that both these players started up with the docks.
Yeah, exactly. It's really crazy when you see someone just not continue to go into the fishing boat production and continue to invest into it when they just cut macro into feudal age, and you're like, oh wow, their timing wasn't that much later than a regular feudal age, and they got a couple fishing boats to speak for it.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be the Coca Township coming out for DeMu Council Hall, as expected, on the opposite side for VortiX. It's going to be left to see, though, how much value DeMu can exactly get out of those Shinobi early on against a civilization like the English. Now, could be an aggressive play onto the pawns there. It's able to sabotage that dock, meaning that there won't be an archer ship coming out anytime soon. But it's got to be a follow-up. Question's going to be, is the follow-up going to be horsemen, or is it going to be... I really like the idea of going into the Yumi Ashigaru archers with the Japanese against the English. You mentioned it earlier, they have a really, really fast movement speed, 1.38 tiles per second. That's as fast as Palace Guards. Meanwhile, Longbowmen, they only move at 1.12 tiles per second, the same speed as normal men-at-arms do. And with that, the Japanese, if they're able to get a lot of these Yumi Ashigaru archers out, they're able to completely chase down all of the Longbowmen and clean them up. DeMu immediately gets that free Shinobi. Another one already in queue.
Yeah, it's just always really nice when you're the one who can choose the fights to take. You don't have to be the one to, rely on your opponent or hope your opponent chooses a bad fight. It's like, no, I have the movement speed. I can take this fight if I see a good fight to take. speaking of a good fight to take, first Shinobi about to sabotage that middle dock.
DeMu, he tries to get a dock up here, but the Lumbermen, they're already on their way.
They're on the way, and he sees the Longbowman too from the Shinobi. He's going to have to back away. There's 2 Shinobi here, and they can't take down the Long... He's... There... He's...
I don't know. Yeah. That's
this
not
looks
happening.
really bad.
That is literally me when I go for Shinobi, lose him immediately, and then just kind of scratch my head. Okay, what do I do here now?
Yeah, it felt weird. He spotted out the longbows, and I immediately was like, okay, like back away, like reposition, go back around to somewhere else to get to a spot you need to. But now he's trying to build an outpost on his stone, and there's still longbows here.
Yeah, the outpost. He might lose a villager for that, or has to sacrifice a Shinobi probably. Oh,
he just blinked into the same spot.
No, he disguised himself and then immediately got fired onto. Gets a shot off, though, on the Longbowman. Villager goes down. First villager of the game. No, second villager, actually. One of the Longbows do go down, but the outpost will go up on the stone mine here.
I mean, at this point, though, you've picked up 2 villagers. You denied the dock. You've killed 2 Shinobi. This feels really... And DeMu's housed. So this feels really good if you're VortiX right now in this early game. Forced out another outpost on gold as well.
Yeah, looks like DeMu's now going for his second town center. He's got a lot of villagers over on wood, a lot of villagers on stone as well. But this kind of plays into VortiX's strengths. Then again, we have to mention it. The Japanese secondary TC. All the TCs in the world, they've got nerfed. Not the Japanese secondary TC. It still has the full 8 tiles of range, which means that you can effectively defend against Longbowmen with the secondary TC.
Yep. And we do see arrow slits upgrades coming in on both of those outposts that DeMu has. So he will have that little bit of defensive line, but loses his scout, and vision is so crucial on this map. There's a good amount of stealth forest around those ponds in the center. And those ponds in the center, that's DeMu's main food.
VortiX now also opts for barracks, get some spearmen out. And I think right now the only production building that DeMu has is going to be a stable. He's got 1 horseman out. I think the first daimyo has also come in for him. So he has the potential to go for... Oh, that villager is going to go down. Shinobi might also live, has more movement speed than most other units.
Should be able to get out and about, but the dock didn't get sabotaged, does produce a fishing ship, and will start to boost up VortiX's food economy even further.
Oh, the Shinobi disguised himself. He's going back onto the dock. Okay, never mind. He disguised himself. What's to get fun out? The interesting thing is that when you disguise your unit with the Shinobi, attack move suddenly doesn't target it anymore. But if he's right-click the unit, then even when he disguises himself, he's going to get taken down. Now it's a lot of longbows, and with this many longbows, he might be able to take down the galley ship here.
Not just the galley ship, the fishing ships as well. And this is, again, DeMu's, a lot of his food eco is right here in this water. He's got 2 ponds secured for himself. That's how he's supporting this horseman production. And longbow count's getting to the point. What is that, 3 shots on a fishing ship? Maybe even 2? Yeah, 2 shots of fishing ship. Ooh, that feels really
2
bad
volleys. All right, looks like it wasn't going to be a second TC play here from DeMu. He's now opting into multiple archer ranges. I like this play more. He's got to pump those numbers, though. The Yumi Ashigaru archers, he needs a lot of them. At the meantime, though, VortiX has got enough numbers now to start thinking about a ram push. Can we take a look at his blacksmith, see if he's already got the siege engineering upgrade in? The blacksmith's at the top side. There it is. Doesn't have it in yet. But he's pushing in deep under woodline.
I mean, the thing is, right now, he realizes how little DeMu has. DeMu has, like, no military out. He's just now dropping the production. VortiX has 21 units. Like, this is no joke over here. And it just feels like DeMu is just a little bit slow. He invested in, like, the outposts and stuff instead of just investing into units earlier on. And it's still allowing VortiX to continue to pressure. Villager going down, another villager going down, and a third one. And a fourth one. Oh
and a fifth one.
Fifth on the wood line. Oh, he decided not to go to the wood line.
But these are heavy eco losses now. That is going to be a very tough spot to come back from. And now Siege Engineering is going to come in. And VortiX, he's going to look to push it in now.
I mean, I knew Rams were going to come out in this game. It's VortiX. We knew he was going to try to go for this feudal finish, especially with the way that this has been played so far. He's dropping a dock on the pawn that DeMu is on. This is about to finish. Yes, the Horsemen, they're going to get that villager kill, but if villager did its job, noble sacrifice.
Yeah, and a galley ship immediately going to be in queue here. Ram gets dropped in. Now what is DeMu going to do? He's got a lot of gold, so he can get the blacksmith upgrades. Already has them, in fact. He's getting the second upgrade on the daimyo on his TC. I'm stretching my... Actually, no, that's the first one. What did he do with all the stone that he had earlier?
Outpost upgrades.
Oh, you're right. Upgrade a lot of the outposts. Now this is going to be the first one. And he desperately needs this one. He's got to get a bannerman out for his Yumi archers. Until he doesn't have that, his archers don't do as much damage as normal archers would.
Horseman trying to burn down that galley. Galley, though, doing its job and has at least taken out a fishing boat. And falls, though, to the other side. 2 Rams, though, onto the gold of DeMu. DeMu has some units, but he doesn't have a lot. Loses another villager on the wood line. And production is right where VortiX is pushing as well. So are houses. And even if the outpost is going to fall, and everything else that falls just making it so hard for DeMu to actually rebalance it. He doesn't even have enough wood for another house right now.
Yeah, now DeMu, he's got a window, but the window is closing quickly as the upgrade for VortiX, the last remaining blacksmith upgrades that he needs on his longbows, it's going to be coming in soon here. And behind all of that, DeMu, he's going to start losing more and more of his production buildings and infrastructure.
He's house.
He's house right now, yeah.
He's house. He can't build military shit. He can't build fishing ships to hold his, his fishing boats over there. He just loses his stables now. And so like wood is crucial. And what did VortiX just deny and made DeMu reposition his whole entire wood line? 2 more villagers fall. 3 more villagers fall.
14 have gone down this game. That is incredibly rough. And yeah, it is going to be very tough now to come back from this one. Insanely tough. Can DeMu even hold this one is going to be a question. VortiX is so good with his aggressive play.
And he's dropping a 3rd ram in the first 2. They've definitely already paid off, taking out production buildings, houses, house DeMu multiple times. Looks like the fishing boats did get taken down on that northern pond, as there were, I think, at least 4 fishing boats during that time. DeMu even trying to micro, but loses another villager over there. And 3 Rams out. It's hard for DeMu to hold this at all.
And we're looking right now at the army count. I mean, DeMu, he's got 30 military units out, but these are Yumi Ashigara archers. They're not strong. Definitely not a strong unit here. You need them in mass, but the mass is on the side of VortiX. He's got 20 spearmen out. That is going to be a big front line to take down.
At least you do get a good little ram pickup. But yeah, at the point right now, you expect to fight the longbows, you need to have more of those Yumi Ashigaru archers compared to longbows, because the longbows are going to be peppering them from further away. They're going to thin out that mass, and they have more damage and whatnot. So looking great for DeMu. He still is at least getting closer to equalizing the military numbers, but he's got another couple Rams knocking on his doorstep now.
Yeah, and the outpost is reinforced. It doesn't really look like it for the Japanese, but this outpost is reinforced. It's going to be able to survive a little bit longer, but 2 Rams are still going to be able to take it down quite quickly. Lots of spearmen throwing torches as well. That's going to be more infrastructure going down here.
And DeMu, he has to reposition his wood line yet again. He's actually moving over to the northern side gold. He doesn't really have anywhere to go, doesn't have any resources to gather from, and more houses going to fall as there's 4 more houses and more of the production that DeMu had to drop.
He's on the gold. Is he trying to go up to Castle Age? That's not going to work, because VortiX is also just about to go to Castle Age.
DeMu has no units in production right now. He just, he's just trying to hold with his town center, hoping that the Japanese town center fire is going to be enough there. Longbow's just not stepping into the fire, defending the Rams. And the Rams, it's about to house DeMu for the 3rd time this game.
And he's just going to go from house to house, and now the King's Palace is coming in, and I feel like as soon as the Castle Age comes in for VortiX, DeMu knows that his Castle Age timing is not going to be the thing that saves him the game here. Once again, tries to dive onto the Rams, able to take down one of them, loses 2 horsemen in the process though. So not really worth it. The Ram also paying off for itself, and now the floating gate comes in, but the Castle Age timing is going to be first for VortiX.
And is there a unit there, or is that a scout?
It was a spearman.
Spear.
VortiX knows now. But VortiX is fine. He knows that he's going to be up quicker, and now he's just going to, once again, go over to the ponds, take down the ships on the pond. Look at that. Just goes down so quickly now.
Yep. And a good bit of an eco lead for VortiX through all of this aggression. Just has kept DeMu on the back foot this whole time. DeMu's going to have another, he's going to have this Castle Age at not too far behind of a timing from him, but just doesn't have the same military prowess to speak for during this.
Yeah, and the floating gate is going to be coming in. DeMu upgrading the samurai right now. Looks like he might be trying to shift into mass samurais. Now, it's troublesome because the English longbowmen, they don't deal badly against men-at-arms. Oh, more villagers are going to be going down now. Under the TC. No spot left in TC. It's all occupied by military units. That's so many more villagers going down. 26 villagers has lost their life, and behind that, VortiX is now on 2 TC scaling. Oh, not the Shinto priest. Not the Shinto priest as well.
This is just one of those timings. VortiX heard the timing, knew that he had this game easy, pressing his advantage, clearing out the rest of the mass from DeMu, forcing DeMu's mass back, and more villagers to head for the hills.
Lots of these archers going down. Villager gets picked off here as well, and I mean, DeMu, he's bleeding out. He's bleeding out in the economy. VortiX almost doubling the eco count. He's got the eco upgrades. DeMu doesn't have any veterancy on all the units right now for VortiX, and he can take this fight. Even against the archers with the spearmen.
Horsemen quickly get cleared up. Longbows will be able to clean up the archers. Actually, more archers here than the longbows, it looks like, at least on the front side. Reinforcing mass wasn't quite there yet.
DeMu, he's now going out to berries. Now, the Japanese, they do get some really, really strong bonuses on these berries. They're actually gathering faster with their wheelbarrow upgrades than the Delhi or the Abbasid on the berry bushes.
Wait, this ram's just been going this whole time, and it's just only archers that have been taking it down, so it takes out another couple houses, and it's just proven to just be so annoying here.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten some good value in at this point in time, and VortiX is just remassing for another push. Now, this time, though, it's going to be together with men-at-arms.
Yeah, it doesn't need as many spearmen here. Knows that the horsemen aren't going to really be effective now that he's gotten veterancy archer or veterancy longbows, as the longbows can easily deal with the horsemen, and the men-at-arms are just so tanky that those low-damage archers on the Japanese side are going to be even less damage.
Yeah, and the Mars spearmen are coming out now. An issue here for the Japanese in this situation is you want to be the one that is massing out those armored units, those samurai. That has not been the case here so far, and looks like it's not going to be the case anytime soon for DeMu to be able to afford mass samurai. And DeMu, with the Japanese, they don't get normal crossbowmen. You only get this very expensive crossbowman on horseback, but those die so easily to the longbowmen, and now VortiX, he knows that the eco has to be somewhere, and he's moving out. I mean, look at the base from VortiX. That is almost so exposed, but there's no aggression coming from that. He finds the villagers. No! That's over. It's over. That is
there it
GG
goes.
now.
They're closing the gap. Every single one of these villagers is going to be going down. There's no escape, no end in sight except for death.
And with that, we're just gonna mentally prepare now for game number 2, as DeMu calls it, and it was just too much. Too much coming out from VortiX. Too many village deaths there early on, and it all just piled on top of each other. DeMu, he's going to have to look for another one in game number 2.
Yeah, I feel like English is one of those civilizations that you want to put their army down early. You never want to allow that longbow mass to get grouped up and get as big as it is. And that's where DeMu, he invested in the towers and outpost upgrades early instead of units and the ability to actually put those units down early. He could have just, in my opinion, grabbed a couple horsemen, killed some reinforcing units, and it would have been a whole different game here.
Indeed. Now, the Shinobi, they definitely didn't work out here for DeMu's advantage in this one. Looking at the military cut, I mean, he got up another good amount of units there. At one point, he actually took a pretty solid fight there against VortiX, but just a longbowman. Too many units, and the economy behind it just wasn't there for him. Now we're going to be going over to game number 2 in this best of 5, and it's going to be DrArabia, Abbasid versus the Delhi Sultanate. And man, this is another very strong civilization here for VortiX. The Delhi Sultanate from VortiX are just super, super strong. Very scary.
Yeah, it leans right into that aggressive playstyle. What does Delhi like to do? They like to mass up a ton of units. We saw it in the Delhi versus Ottoman game just a little bit ago. Mass up a ton of units, take that map control, and then if you've taken good fights, you're going to drop some rams and all in your opponent's base. And if I know Abba, they like to drop multiple TCs. They like to invest in their economy a little bit. And those TCs, they are not as strong as they used to be, as we know we have mentioned a few times today.
Exactly. So it's going to be tough for the Abbasid to really hold those secondary TCs. Now they still get a lot of bonus fire, or rather torch armor, on these TCs, which helps against like just spearmen running them down and trying to get on top of them. The question's going to be, though, if that will be enough in this one. It's like it's just about starting up. There we go. 2 minutes remaining until we're getting into our game number 2. Now, DeMu, though. We talked about VortiX being very strong with the Delhi. DeMu's Abbasid are also very, very strong. He is definitely one of the better Abbasid players that I got in my mind. When I think Abbasid, I'm thinking players like Certain. I'm thinking players like B, Marine Lord. DeMu is also very high up there when it comes to utilizing the Abbasid and just being very, very solid with the overall macro. We looked at his player cut earlier. Macro, definitely a strong point here for DeMu. And he definitely has many ways of playing this one against the Delhi. I would be interested in seeing if he's going to go for an economic wing against the Delhi, or if it's going to be the military wing. I think you just have to kind of respect VortiX's aggression enough to go for the military wing here in this one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same exact way. The military wing will at least allow you to, have some units out early, give yourself that extra boot camp upgrade to fight in feudal age a little bit more efficiently if you need to contest the sacred sites, which obviously you want to deny those sacred sites for as long as possible.
Indeed. At one point, you're going to have to move out onto the map now. The question is going to be, will the Abbasid get enough time inside of their base with their secondary TC to be able to mass a force to really push out onto the map? We'll see, as our game number 2 is just around the corner.
Yeah, we're about to get into this one in just a little bit. Obviously, we just saw VortiX take a very good game number 1 with that aggressiveness, and now game number 2.
Indeed, and here we go. Any second now, from the looks of it. Any second now. In just a moment. Maybe. You guys can't see what we can see, but it's just going to be another second until we get into our next game here. And there we go. Game number 2 is starting up right now. We got VortiX playing in the color blue as the Delhi Sultanate. We're here on DrArabia. And on the opposite side, we got DeMu in the color red playing as the Abbasid dynasty.
Yep. And so now we're going to see what these early builds have in store for us. We saw the straggler drop off from VortiX with the Delhi, getting those techs on in, and, they want to gather up as much sheep, but not as crucial for both of these civilizations, both being berry enjoyers.
Exactly. Both of these civilizations can make a lot when it comes to map control. Getting those berry income, it's going to be very, very solid food income for them. Now, when we think about the unique units that these players get access to in the feudal age, for the Delhi, it's going to be the Scholars being able to heal up weakened units, as well as the Ghazi Raiders just being an overall very, very solid horseman replacement, having a lot of bonus health, good amount of bonus damage, and not costing too much more compared to a normal horseman. On the other side, though, the Abbasid, they get access to those early camel archers, which debuff a lot of the opponent's cavalry. So Ghazi Raiders can get debuffed by the Abbasid. And overall, the Abbasid just have access to the strongest spearmen in the game on top of all of that.
Yeah, when you're playing against the spearmen, once they do get that phalanx upgrade for the extra range, I always find people just it's not necessarily forgetting, it's just underestimating how long that range actually is.
Yeah, being able to attack out of multiple rows with these spearmen means they get so much damage in these melee engagements. DeMu is going to be the one to age up first from the looks of it. Just needs a little bit more gold. And the age up choice is going to be the military wing. So indeed, he will respect the military prowess, or rather the aggression that we've seen so far coming out of VortiX. Is going to be able to scale his own military accordingly. Question is going to be, is it going to be a fast secondary TC coming out from him as well? And on the opposite side, VortiX, we talked about his aggressiveness in these past games, and this is not going to be playing out any different. It's going to be the Tower of Victory coming out here for him.
Yep, wants to get that little extra attack speed bonuses on those spearmen, on those archers, and just have those better fights throughout.
Exactly. Now, gets a lot of the upgrades in as well. Wheelbarrow also already being researched here for the Delhi. Comes in usually roughly with the age up. Able to research that for free. Now, both players get a good amount of sheep under that TC as well. Obviously, both the Abbasid and the Delhi, we talked about it earlier, they don't really need the sheep, or rather, they're not reliant on the sheep too much. And so you do have that buffed up income from the berries.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the one that it leans into their favor even more would be DeMu. You obviously being that second TC or being the more macro civ, you don't want to have to move out on the map to the deer, to the berries, to the other resources that you might have some Ghazi Raiders arriving at when you didn't want them to be. So it allows you to be a little bit safer for longer. So if anything, DeMu would rather have the sheep victory there.
You're right. And actually, taking a look at the map right now, we can see that the deer for DeMu, they all spawned rather to the edge of the map. He's also got some berry bushes, also to the back of his base. So overall, this can be a very, very nicely defensible spot for DeMu when it comes to food access. Overall, pretty decent spawn here for him. Now, same could be said for VortiX. He's got a very, very defensive deer spawn all the way to the back of his base. That is going to be very tough to get units over to. And yeah, just overall, solid base setup here for him. We see the first blacksmith coming out for VortiX, so he will be able to get these blacksmith upgrades in nice and early. Now, the military units from DeMu, which he is getting for free from that military wing, are going to be pushing forward. And he's going to be able to put some pressure on his opponent now.
Yeah, the thing is VortiX's economy right now is very, very condensed. He's still mainly on the wood to get all the production, the blacksmith, everything down right when you hit feudal age. You want to start all those techs that you want, and then you're going to start pumping your military. Well, VortiX, he actually has the only little bit of exposed villagers are these onto the wood line. Force drop off, just reposition back to the other side, and he is fine and dandy.
Do you see the first upgrade that VortiX decides to get from his blacksmith?
Why does this not surprise me at all? It's just he's just gonna all in the secondary TC right when DeMu drops it. He's gonna all in it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe he changes his mind since he already saw that it's gonna be military wing from DeMu, and now the secondary TC is coming in at a pretty nice timing for him. And yeah, he's already put up a good bit of aggression. He's kind of shown VortiX, hey, I'm respecting your aggressive play. I went for the military wing. Please don't all in me.
And not only that,
yeah.
But I was going to say the TC positioning too is definitely please don't all in me as well. Not going out to the deer next to his gold. He's dropping it next to his wood line, next to his TC as well.
Yeah, I think VortiX just gonna say, sorry, I didn't quite catch that, and he's just gonna all in him anyways. And we also see some blueprints for walls here coming out for DeMu, also walling in the deer spot. So this is gonna be a nice defensive wall here for him. Means that he's only gonna have to mainly focus on the other sides of his base when it comes to aggression. VortiX already dropping one of each production building. Goes immediately into massing units now.
Yep, just pumping everything out. Scholars looked like they were starting to move into those production buildings as well. So
I think it's sacred sites.
Oh yeah, it is going to end up being sacred sites because Sanctity is about to come through in the near future, and he wants to have the scholars on the sacred sites as Sanctity finishes.
Yeah, so immediately going for that double sacred site push with his 2 scholars, and it's going to be tough for DeMu. He doesn't have a military production building out yet, or at least he doesn't have any additional units in queue. Still only sitting on his free military that he's gotten out. Now, a secondary TC, it takes a while to pay off for itself. So we're looking roughly at a 7-minute gets the scout. We're looking roughly at a 7-minute timer from now on, until DeMu is actually going to be able to have an advantage in the economy that's also translated into more military units out on the field. Until then, he's going to have to play this one a little bit more defensively.
Yeah, the hard part here, though, is like he's not denying the sacred sites at all. So VortiX, he gets an immediate boost to his economy. He doesn't have to wait for this payoff. Once these sacred sites get captured, that's gold that is just starting to flow into the bank.
And behind all of that, at any one point, he can just stop and hold production and go for a really, really quick age up. Additionally, he could also just shoot. Oh my god!
No, you know what
it's
VortiX.
It's so aggressive, man. It's unbelievable. Like, you think Kiljadi is aggressive? You've not played against VortiX.
And like a lot of times, you're thinking, you're like, oh, dude, 5 units, that's not enough to defend the ram. It's like, well, if you have good positioning, if you know how to like micro the units correctly, it is. And so he's still producing these units, and he knows that DeMu is behind in the production because of that second TC.
Exactly. Behind all of that, all the upgrades are coming in as well. DeMu's got his own blacksmith, so he is getting the upgrades in as well. Masses up spearmen and archers. Definitely the right unit composition. If you're able to, like, you just want to defend his base. You don't want to necessarily try to go for raids, just because you can't afford going for raids right now, since you went for that secondary TC. Spearman is going to be found out. Archers immediately moving on to that one. Tries to get something going on these sacred sites with a decap, but that's just not going to be happening here.
And he's building a second ram, so he wants to go ahead and press the issue very, very fast. And not only, when he's pushing this, a good thing for DeMu and the bad thing is he's got a lot of villagers here. So the villagers are going to be able to pull to burn the rams, but it also means there's villagers that can be vulnerable, that can end up going down to this military aggression, because VortiX, he's got 27 units compared to DeMu's 18.
And here we go. Rams about to be spotted. Now they're visible. DeMu knows that this is once again going to be a ram aggression push here now. Pulls a villager on the woodline, a little bit further to the side. Military units coming in as well. 10 Ghazi Raiders out right now.
There's only 8 spears on the other side. Those 8 spears are going to be very quickly focused down by VortiX's archers. There's no villagers inside the TC yet either, so he's not even getting any return fire. Villagers pulled off of the rams. The rams immediately pulled back, though, and you might have a villager lead, but this is villager idle time. Ghazi Raiders not turning yet. They want to go for the archers. They want to kill the military, and then the villagers are left free. There's only a few spears left. 4 spears, 3 spears, 2.
Villagers not being focused, though. They get onto the retreat. Only 1 villager went down so far. DeMu might be able to escape with them. Some body blocking coming in, though. 2 villagers went down. 3 villagers went down. This is not the worst yet. He's still got a solid villager lead, and the push is now stalled out. This was maybe worth it. It's a lot of idle time.
So like the thing is DeMu's wood line's idle this whole time. So look at his archer queue. He hadn't really had this huge archer queue behind it. And so I feel like this is one of those where VortiX just doubles down. There's 1 unit in queue for DeMu. There's 5 for VortiX. It's just one of these that he did exactly what he needed, which is just continue this pressure, get more damage done. Pulling 25 villagers during that time, that's more than DeMu's whole economic lead by a lot.
Here we go. It's still 12 Ghazi Raiders now. Villagers hop inside the TC. Second ram is in as well. Once again.
There's
Ghazi
no
Raiders
spears.
pushing in onto the archers. Where are the spearmen?
They all got focused down the last time by the archers, so there's just no one left standing. There was only one barracks out. It was double range for DeMu, and this is, again, a perfect push for VortiX. Pulls back the rams again and will cause DeMu to invest into killing these rams. And, I mean, I don't know if he wants to invest into that, as now it's not just villagers and spears going down. It's everything right now.
Still got the villager lead, but behind all of that, the sacred sites are ticking. 7.5 minutes remaining on that. DeMu does have a good food bank. He just needs to... He doesn't have the production right now. Not enough production buildings. There aren't many spearmen out for VortiX, so maybe some horsemen from DeMu could help as well. But it's tough when you're facing off against Ghazi Raiders.
And I mean, VortiX, he's just continuing to pump both Ghazi Raiders and archers, and it just seems like DeMu, he can't get the spearman number up enough. The spearmen on his side, they're going to get microed down. These players, they know exactly what unit to focus. You could just see it from VortiX. Kill the spears, and he wins the game here.
Yeah, more reinforcements coming across the map now from VortiX. More Ghazi Raiders as well, up to 14. 6 spearmen. Not going to be enough, and I feel like DeMu needs to drop another barracks here soon, just to be able to keep up with this.
Agreed. I feel like he's needed another barracks, but he just can't sacrifice the wood right now. Another barracks, that's less archers out. That's less just wood that he has out on the field, and it's just hard for him to stabilize this push. He needs every little bit of resources possible, but 3 more rams are knocking at the doorstep, and he's still only at a 10-ville lead, and the sacred sites make up for that.
Here we go, villagers pushing in, spearmen getting focused down. Ghazi Raiders onto the villagers here from DeMu. Spearmen time though.
Only 4 spears left again. 3 spears left. I mean,
the TC is going down.
TC goes down, but also VortiX is going to take out DeMu's whole army. He microed down all of the spears. The Ghazi Raiders are still in more than double digits, and there's no other anything to defend the archers on DeMu's side.
Yeah, and the villagers on the deer also getting focused down now. Villager count almost even, but you never want to be even against the Delhi when it comes to the eco count, because they get all the upgrades for free. Behind that, all the eco upgrades. And now, VortiX. He's just pushing in under TC. Ghazi Raiders dishing out tons of damage. Infrastructure getting taken down by the Rams. And I feel like this is going to be game now from here on out.
And there it is, game indeed. VortiX with another quick game, and that just is the way his playstyle is. We saw Siege Engineering, the very first upgrade queued up from a blacksmith from Delhi. He wanted to end it. He had a game plan, and it worked out perfectly.
Man, oh man. I mean, time and time again, I found myself in the same position as DeMu there when I'm playing against VortiX, and it is so tough. It is so tough. VortiX, he absolutely knows these timings. Day in, day out, he practices against his brother. And I feel like this is also one of the main reasons why Lucifer is just so damn impressive when it comes to like being able to not just play very aggressively, but also being able to play a macro game. Because he's playing against this all day. He's playing against these all-ins every single day. And man, VortiX is just so impressive with it.
Yeah, just absolutely wild. Holding the push from VortiX is so difficult, and you can see it here. DeMu hadn't been able to do it 2 games, but will we see a 3rd game where VortiX is going for another feudal age push? I bet you will be able to guess based off of the civilizations here in just a little bit, but what a wild 2-0 lead to start off at least.
Yeah, DeMu wants to at least get a single victory up against VortiX, because if he doesn't, and B gets a victory up against VortiX, that's going to mean that B is going to have more points to be able to qualify for the playoffs than DeMu.
Yeah, makes it very crucial for the rest of these series that come out to play. That being said, DeMu's big win over B was his kind of key and crucial leg on up, the 3-2, but it isn't over till it's over. You do need to qualify. You need 2 wins on in here and the better tie breaks. But DeMu, can he end up doing that on this game 3? Get his leg back up here. Mongols, Ottomans. Do you think we're going to see the typical military school and barracks to the barracks on the other side?
I think it has to be. It has to be, and we're about to find out as our game is gonna start any moment now, and it looks like here we go. Game number 3 in this best of 5, and VortiX right now already on match point. We see VortiX playing the Mongols in the color blue on the opposite side, DeMu playing the Ottomans in the color red. We're here on Canal, and we've already seen a very, very devastating game earlier between Louis and Marine Lord. This map can really snowball out of control quickly. As soon as one of these players is able to win water, the attack ships can go all the way into the little river that's surrounding the base of your opponent. With that, it's going to be really, really tough to come back from such a situation once you got attack ships knocking on your infrastructure in your base.
Yeah, we saw it was the Grand Galley yesterday from DeMu just absolutely shredding B's reinforcements, shredding everything that was trying to help in this fight, and he's on the Ottomans again. He got the victory yesterday. It was maybe not the cleanest game, but it was definitely a wild one and a fun one to watch. And I feel like a lot of the Canal games are, because it is a battle for that middle canal.
Here we go. Looks like VortiX manages to make some good use of the Gur. Able to get up 4 of these sheep. On the opposite side, though, DeMu, he's already gotten a good amount of sheep himself, following his scout. Are there going to be any early barracks coming out of these players? It's going to be the main question on my mind right now. Now, DeMu, his first barracks, it's going to be a lot cheaper, only costing 100 wood. And on the opposite side, VortiX, if he really wants to invest into Spearmen, he'll be more incentivized into going for an Uvu first, since he will want to double produce his units as quickly as possible.
Yeah, not having the stone it definitely is a huge feels bad early on as the Mongols. It's just a huge benefit to free stone throughout. Even if you're not spending it on double units early, you can sometimes see, the forward dock get the arrow slits immediately to deny any aggression from the other side, or at least delay it up. But no Uvu as VortiX, he wants to invest into eco, and eco investment you can see it up at the top, 15 to 13 already.
I mean, it's always a little bit quicker for the Mongols to get that fishing economy going. They don't really have to invest anything into houses. Oh, is it?
Yeah, there's got to be. There's 3 military units out for DeMu, and he doesn't have military.
Yeah, you're right. For some reason. I mean, it makes sense with the Delhi. With the Ottomans, not so much.
They're the same color flag-ish, right? It's close. But
yeah, Capture Age definitely needs an update here at some point in time. It's not quite ready yet for the new civilization. It's a nice little tool here with our caster UI, but definitely in need of an update, and is coming out for VortiX now.
Yeah, the Uvu definitely, like I said, definitely necessary. At least having that into the bank, you can already see the stones start to tick up. Khan on the other side, just being as annoying as he possibly can be. It's one of those that a lot of times you'll just see the DeMu pull back the villager at half health, but sometimes you forget about it. Sometimes you get distracted, and sometimes you don't heal up that villager, and it gets raided later on when it has to move out.
Indeed, not both players. Oh, Khan goes down, actually. Okay. I mean...
GG's.
GG's in chat. Hello, Khan died. That's gotta be... Yeah, next game, I would say. Oh, VortiX going for a forward dock on his opponent's side. And yeah, he's already got the stone income right now to be able to get an emplacement on that as soon as possible. And DeMu, he's also trying to get his another dock up on his side. Look at that, 11 villagers working on Silver Tree.
Yeah, he wants to get that up as fast as possible. And then if that stone emplacement comes into play, it makes that fishing eco for DeMu so much harder to actually utilize. And that secondary dock he makes is almost worthless. Every single ship that comes out is going to have to jump back inside or head back on for the hills. Dock is already finished for VortiX, so feeling pretty good in that regards. Silver Tree, not too many seconds until it finishes as well.
Yeah, I mean, Villager now gets forced back on the retreat with that scout being there. So that's going to be a tough spot for DeMu. Ideally, he would be the one that puts the dock up on his opponent's side. Now, with the dock right in his face, that's going to be a tough one. New Age begins, and we immediately see a galley being in queue now for VortiX. I think that's going to get immediately followed up with an emplacement.
Yep, that would be my guess, as he just now got enough for that emplacement as far as the stone into the bank. Trade network hasn't yet finished, so DeMu still can't even react to this galley with his own yet. Doesn't have enough food into the bank either, and nope, now he does. And galley is in queue, but just seconds later. It's just such a key timing here from VortiX.
He's gonna need a Springle ship as soon as possible to start taking down that dock. And look at that. There was a fishing ship that already went down here, from the looks of it.
Yep, that's essentially a villager kill. It counts as a destroyed villager as well. And fishing boat's trying to jump back out to start gathering again. He wants to get as much, food as possible, not delay this on up. But the dock emplacement finishes. And now he just takes this fight, denies the fishing to move to the other side too.
This is gonna be so tough to deal with now. VortiX, he's so good with these aggressive plays, and at the same time, DeMu gets some good scouting in. Looks like there was a production building that came out on the U there. It's gonna be a stable. Might incentivize DeMu to maybe go for some spearmen and potentially try to burn that dock down. Oh, DeMu, it looks like, okay, he's getting his own emplacement on there. That's gonna be nice for him.
Yeah, DeMu moved out onto the stone a little bit ago, starting to invest into his own emplacement. Trade network going to be trickling in some gold. He hadn't moved those traders out to actually go to the market, which understandable, as VortiX dropping the stables means Keshiks are about to be on the way.
I would like to see DeMu focus the archer ship with that emplacement. There we go. Focus it over to the archer ship. As soon as the archer ship goes down, you can just get in 1 or 2 demo ships. Ideally just 1. And with that, you'll be able to take down the Springle ship very quickly. Oh, still in range of that emplacement. You definitely have to play the water game.
Yeah, those emplacements are very deceptive on how far the range actually is. And that archer ship, it is getting quite low.
Yeah, a lot of damage has come out so far onto these ships. Look at that. Still in range.
He's just tanking it. He's just, he's just tanking it. It's fine.
First Keshik has come out. Looks like the second batch of Keshiks is going to be double production. It's going to be a lot of military units out there.
VortiX just keeps trying to barely get out of range, and he's just underestimating the range over and over again of that dock emplacement.
Yeah, it doesn't help that if he doesn't have these units on stand ground, they're just going to walk into the range of the dock as soon as they get shot at.
Scouts trying to be denied. VortiX, I believe he might want to start getting some traders out and about from the silver tree, start to get some extra little bit of Mongol economy going for himself. But the Keshiks, they're going to do exactly that great job of putting DeMu on the back foot. DeMu, what's he want to do? It's Castle Age. You can already see it with the resources in the bank. That is 100% his plan. Play defensive, get up to castle, get those grand galleys.
Yeah, the trade network is a wonderful landmark for that, since you will have safe access to gold with it. Gets a good trickle of gold in. It almost works like a Manza quarry with these 2 initial traders that you get in it immediately. I wonder if he invested into more than just the initial 2 that he got.
Yep, those couple first Keshiks, one of them's distracted with the scout, the other one's hitting the gold mine now. Gets a charge in on the villagers. One vill goes down with the cleanup of the con, and the second one does as well. Good raid by VortiX.
Yeah, it hurts a lot. Now DeMu doubles down with a couple more spearmen in the queue, but what does VortiX do behind that? He's going into archers, and he's already got a couple of traders moving out right now. Can we check how many traders? He's already got 5 traders, 6 traders now with that one in the queue. So he's already getting himself a good eco lead now as soon as these traders start hitting the market.
Yeah, and I love how he waited to do the traders until he forced the scout back, until he forced DeMu on the back foot. Well, now the trade started, and DeMu, he doesn't know how heavy the trade is. Like, yeah, he probably assumes that VortiX is starting trade, but doesn't know how scary it is. And VortiX, he can just wait a couple minutes now, and his economy is just going to be so much stronger. He can easily match a Castle Age timing from DeMu and have extra economic units behind it.
Placement here doing a good job, but there's a demo ship in queue for VortiX from that dock. Oh no. I fear the worst. Dabston, hold me. This is gonna be disastrous.
We've seen We've seen it time and time again, and it's over. It's over. Oh no. I mean, you had the foresight of it. We knew exactly what was going to happen, and it is just too much to come back from there. The demo proves to be exactly what was needed, and VortiX takes the game and takes the series.